Good afternoon, everyone. So, where do I look for this picture? 5 seconds. All right, let's do this. So my greatest ability often seems to be the ability to ramble senselessly at times about the sounds and shapes inside of my body, and to explode them into the air where I can hopefully learn to make sense of them. It's sort of like a strange Tetris game where my brain is the screen and my heart is offering up these strange shaped pieces to hopefully fit together. This does not always happen. The piece achieved, the fitting together, the sense that happens between the heart and the head. And but hopefully somewhere in this talk that I'm supposed to be giving, some sort of fitting together may occur. Even right now, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. I'm not quite sure what its worth might be for you, for myself. The poet William Stafford says, to start here, to lift this new glimpse you found, carry into evening what you want from the day. What can anyone give you greater than now? To start here, right here in this room when you turn around. So let us start here, in this room, in this moment. Sit with me as I ramble the shapes of my heart, and let us see what we might make of this. Today happens to be my brother's birthday. He turns 31 years old. Happy birthday, Nason. Shortly after he was born, down in New Orleans, Louisiana, our mother, our sister, and myself planted a tree in front of our house. Somebody pulls it up. We plant a second tree. And my mom, suspecting the neighbor, goes next door and tells her, I planted a second tree, and nothing better happened to this one. The old woman glares at her through the screen door and says, what you want to plant a tree for anyway? My mother, orange-eyed and furious, says it doesn't matter. It was my tree, and you better not touch this one. There is a thunder inside my mom, deep and strong and beautiful. It is a southern thunder. You can see it hanging heavy in the distance, rolling in with horses cresting on its dark waves. There is a music to growing up down south. My sister and I, we eat the blossoms off the honeysuckle vines that grow over the bricks of our grandparents' house in Baton Rouge. The petals taste of honey and warm evening. We buy stalks of sugarcane from the French market in the French Quarter, break them open, split the strands, and chew them, the sweet sugar running down our chins, our teeth shining. Every one of our houses has a neighbor with a Japanese plum tree. The branches hang over the walls, and me and Sam, we steal the fruit until our bellies hurt, our fingers coated in their sticky skin, our shirts stained with their blood, proof that even we, skinny brown boys from down south, can be gods of something. There is a music to growing up down here. The music comes in on the thick heat at dusk. You can hear it rising out of the grass with the chorus of crickets calling to the approaching night. The music plays over and over in the chest. Sometimes you turn onto your stomach to muffle the song. Sometimes you turn over and allow it to serenade you, to lullaby you. Outside, the cicadas sing. When they are gone, you will miss them. Sometimes the silence of their absence becomes almost deafening. Summertime is spent tossing and turning, searching for the cool part of the mattress to fall into. I lie next to my bedroom window with it open because it is hot in our house. I stare out the window into the heavens. The night is a giant dog of a beast, the stars, drops of water brightly clinging to its dark fur. I climb out the window, climb up its back, and hold tight. Riding atop the night makes you feel small and powerful. Powerful and small. Powerful and small. I will find that this is how it feels to ride upon the beast of one's heart. At Christmas time, the grandfather of our grade school gives every student an orange. In April, the nets hang heavy with crawfish, and the sidewalks are littered with the bodies of caterpillars. In my 8th January, the porch is covered in a coat of ice. My sister and I, we skate circles across it before being shuttled off to school. We are in the woods behind our grandparents' house. Her, myself, and our brother. In the distance, we see a man approaching us on a dark horse. He has a large brimmed hat. His mustache curls like a beautiful and terrible blacksmith tool. We have no fear. He approaches us. He asks us our name. We answer. We have no fear. He adjusts his gloves, and a buzzing song fills the air. He unbuttons his top button, and the song buzzes louder. He unbuttons all his buttons, and a cloud of cicadas enters into the sky. The man is gone. The bodies are climbing over our shoulders, crawling over our skin, swarming over our skulls. They climb into my mouth, into my ear, work their way through the hallways of my veins to my heart to drink of its sap, singing all the while. There's a music to growing up down here. My mom loves raspberries. Gardens every day, every evening, welcomes the night with this. My father shuttles off to work every morning, comes back in the evening. I lie to Miss Cortez about forgetting my lunch money. She pays for me. On the walk home, I spend the change in my pocket on candy at Adam's drugstore. 2 mornings later, finds me sitting in the front seat, bawling an apology to my mother, asking her for an extra 65 cents to pay back my teacher. The holes in my body, the holes in the kite that I am sure are there, do not exist. I am a good boy. I am a good man. It is sometimes hard to remember this, to remember our goodness. It is also sometimes hard to acknowledge our ugliness. We bury both. This does us much harm. From the Amtrak train window, I watch the world move backwards. I am walking with my father's father between the cars. When he and my grandmother moved to Virginia, I spend the 3 days on the train with them. It is just the 3 of us. They speak little English. I speak little Farsi. We eat donuts with powdered sugar on them. I sit at the stools of the snack car. I remember little else. It is my first time on a train. It is my first time passing through states I have never entered. In the images in my head, I see my face, not my vision. I become a character in my own movie. I sit inside myself how I sat inside that train. Like myself, the train moves me. Like myself, this is how it has always been. Our house sat between the streetcar barn and the train tracks. I would listen at night for the locomotion of the train moving through the dark. The boxcars moving their bodies from one corner of the country to the other. The bell of their bodies, the clang of the wheels, it sings to me. Hugging the track was the levee, and hugging the levee was the Mississippi. Hugging the Mississippi are tugboats and barges. They call to the stars using the low bellow of their foghorns. The train whistle, the boat horns, they call to my heart. I lie awake at night listening. It is a mystery. It is familiar. Is that not how we are ourselves? A mystery, yet familiar. The songs of this movement is a seed of adventure planted into my skin. It sprouts over the years, and when I find myself on that train, 7 years old and heading north, my body is a bird fluttering inside a cage before its door open to the sky on the other side, welcoming me to step into it. My heart is a creature of light, beckoning for me to take hold, to hold on while it flies. Somewhere in time, my heart learns to use its inside voice. Sometimes we ride upon the heart, and the heart does not know what it is carrying, does not know what it is moving through. Just traveling over dry sand and sharp rocks under the black sky into the warm morning. Sometimes it sits before us so still, hungry, waiting for us to approach, our hands open. Sometimes we grab hold and ride upon it. Sometimes it runs away without us, both it and ourselves becoming smaller in the distance that grows between. The beast of the heart does not always know what it is carrying, only that it is running hard. When this happens, we don't always know where we are being led to. We have but two choices. One, to cower our face into its thick fur, remain blind to this travel, to this journey, or to lift our chin and greet the wind with our face, watching the earth trickle out around us. It is all right to not know. It is all right to not like the answers to the questions we ask of ourselves. It is all right to be a participant on this journey and not just a passenger. Spring begins with the cicadas. My home state of Louisiana is one of the home states of the lower Mississippi Valley brood of cicadas. Brood 23. They are on a 13-year life cycle. What this means is this, that the eggs are laid into the slit of a tree branch, and when those eggs hatch, they drop to the earth, tunnel underground to drink of the roots of trees. In this nymph period, they remain under the earth for 2 years, some broods for 3 years. Brood 23 will remain underground for 13 years before emerging into the air and shedding its skin. All my life, I've carried the cicadas inside me. Their song, their singing, their humming. At times, they rest. At times, they sleep, unsure of what to pull forth. There are so many things inside us that demand light, both good and bad. To bring forth the goodness in us, into the air, into the light, causes it to grow and to blossom. The ugly things we keep trapped in darkness, pulling them forth into the light, defines them and helps dissolve them into nothing. By learning and speaking something's name, it lessens its power over us. At some point in time, my heart stopped learning both its voices. Its love was told to be small. Its love was told it was not good. Its shape was not of worth, to go forth into the back corners. It is a hard thing to do, this thing we call living. The night greets us every day, every night, trying to figure out how to swallow so many moons without being swallowed by so much darkness. Brood 23, as I said, is on a 13-year life cycle. It started in 63, appeared again in 76, 1989, 2002. They emerge out of the earth this spring, 2015. Perhaps all this is similar to this. All life similar to bringing forth oneself out of the ground to see what shape the bodies carry. Every evening, My mother greets the world the same way, opens the door and says, "Good evening, night-blooming jasmine." The flower lifts its fragrance into the air only after the sun goes down. She walks between the rows of her plants, the rows of her flowers, watering can in hand, her fingers deep in the warm soil, hungering for the same song that rises out of them, and with the flourish of the bodies of cicadas, singing and welcoming the approaching dark. Thank you very much.